And we are rolling. Hey guys, it's your buddy Jake Dominguez back with the very first historic first review I have of Star Wars The Clone Wars, the animated television series. I know this is a historic day. You've all been waiting to hear my thoughts on this show. Not really, but I'm going to do it anyway, so I hope you're excited for that. For those who haven't seen my last review, which was done on the 2008 film Star Wars The Clone Wars, the movie, I'm going to review every single episode of this television show. I have seen a few episodes in the past, but I've always wanted to sit down and watch the entire thing. I'm not much of a TV guy, so for me to sit down and watch a whole show is a big deal. And I'm going to do it, and I'm going to record a review for every single episode, all 120 plus of this show, and we're going to get started. One thing I didn't mention in my last review of the movie is that there is a bit of controversy around this series about the chronological order of Star Wars The Clone Wars. Long story short, it was shown completely out of order, and on StarWars.com you could find the official chronological timeline of it all. And I spent a lot of time thinking about how I'm going to review this show. Should I review it in actual chronological order, or should I just review it in order of release, the same way it's on Netflix or the way people watched it on TV, that sort of thing. And after a lot of thought, after talking with some other people about it, for this series of reviews and for my first time watching it, I'm just going to review it in the order it came out. The reason why is I figured that's probably the way the majority of you guys watched it for the first time, and it'll probably be confusing for some people if they're going to watch these reviews, if it seems out of order, even though it's really not. I just blah, 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 blah. So that's what I'm going to do. And let's get started on the first episode. The first episode is Ambush, and it tells the story about Jedi Master Yoda. Yeah, I guess some of these episodes don't necessarily always focus on Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka Tano. It's focused on other characters. Great, I think that's awesome. And it tells the story of Yoda and how he goes down with a bunch of clone troopers to this one planet. I don't remember what it's called. This is going to happen the whole series of reviews I do this. It's going to be me forgetting the names of all the obscure Star Wars planets. Shame on you, Jacob. Sorry, I'll try to learn. And they go to this one planet where there's a bunch of aliens that's the same kind of species as Watto. Again, blanking on exactly what the name it does say, and in the expanded universe they do have a name. It's blanking on me right now, but it's the same aliens Watto were in Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. And Count Dooku's there, of course, to try to make a deal with them in order to join them in the Separatist army and all that jazz. But Yoda, along with his clone troopers, go there in order to help this planet join the Republic instead. Now, Count Dooku sent Ventress over there in order to help, or to allow, I guess that's the word I'm looking for, them to join the Separatists instead of the good guys, the Republic. And Ventress basically makes a deal with the main alien chief. She basically says, if my guys can destroy Yoda and his clone army before they get here, you'll join the Separatists. If not, you can join the Republic. Yoda's completely cool with this. He's like on a hologram while this is all going on, and they're talking with him. And he's just like, that is, the alien chief is just like, okay, but only if you give Yoda a fair fight. And that's the main plot of this episode. Little over the place, sorry about that, but that's kind of how the plot is. And really, sitting down to watch this episode, first of all, I was a little taken aback by the plot itself. It was kind of like, okay, Yoda's the smartest guy in the entire galaxy, and he's going to agree to do this, game in order to get the planet to join the Republic. I mean, if he doesn't get destroyed, then the chief alien will know that Republic is good and that the Separatists are the bad guys, and you could probably figure out for yourself if they give Yoda a fair fight or not. That's so right away. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not sure about this plot. It's a little corny, and maybe it is, but it doesn't matter because this episode was awesome. I'm serious. I was like, oh my goodness, this is fantastic. Now, I did watch this episode when it first premiered on Cartoon Network years ago. I remember I remember watching it, and I remembered it almost completely left me until I watched it again last night. But it's awesome, and the reason it's awesome is because of Yoda. Yoda in this episode is exactly how he was in The Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi. It's as if Frank Oz himself was voicing and puppeteering this CGI animated character. It was great. He has so many great lines of dialogue. The heart of the show is him working with the other clone troopers. He gives them advice. There's this great scene where he's just looking around in the middle of all this battle and chaos, and he just looks at the planet around him, and he's just like, beautiful the galaxy is, and he's so calm and relaxed. He's not worried about that, and the clone troopers are always perplexed by this. There's an absolutely great scene, and it's just a character scene. It's not a battle or war scene, where Yoda is sitting down with all the three main clone troopers in this episode, and he talks to them about their personalities, basically. And he says, even though you all look the same, you're clones, and you all look the same with your helmets off, you're not the same, up here and in here. It was really powerful. I can't even do it justice. And you hear the Yoda theme in this episode. They actually play John Williams' Yoda theme. And it was just, oh, it was just a total geek awesome moment. And this whole episode is like that. That's what makes this episode work. I think Tom Kane is the voice of Yoda in this animated series. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm really sorry. I'm gonna check on that, but I'm pretty sure it's Tom Kane, and he's great. It doesn't really bother me that it's not Frank Oz. He does fantastic. He totally fits in with the character of Yoda. I mean, honestly, I love the philosophy of Star Wars. I love everything about the Force and the struggle between good and evil, good from evil, in Star Wars. That's really what George Lucas intended when he made this show. And in this one episode, that's the first episode that premiered for the series, we get that. And I thought that was awesome. The action is awesome. I really had a lot of fun with it. It was just a really fun episode. But for me, the relationship between Yoda and the clone troopers, and just everything Yoda related in general, made this show. It was awesome. Do I have a few criticisms of the show? Let me see. I have one criticism, but it's incredibly geeky, and it's so minuscule, it's probably not even worth mentioning. But remember in The Empire Strikes Back, when Yoda brought the X-Wing out of the Dagobah swamp or whatever, and after he did it, he was frail, he can barely breathe, he was super tired, and he told Luke, that is why you fail. And you could tell that using the Force brought a lot out of him. Now, at the end of Attack of the Clones, there's a similar scene where he's stopping that gigantic cylinder from falling on Anakin and Obi-Wan. And after that, you can also tell he's really tired as well. He kind of has to he has to take a breather, and he uses the Force to grab his cane and stuff like that. And in the audio commentary, they even talk about how that was meant to be an homage to The Empire Strikes Back. That it was it's not just easy to use the Force, it mentally, physically drains you. Without getting too spoilerific, there's a scene where Yoda uses the Force on a bunch of big objects, and he's not tired. He's okay. It's in the middle of this super fun, exciting sequence, and it just moves forward. And I guess that kind of bugged me, but isn't that the most nitpicky of all the nitpicks I can give? That is just pure fanboy geek ridiculousness. It's hardly even worth mentioning, but it is something that made me go, oh, that's interesting, but oh well. It's a Saturday morning cartoon show. Did they show this on Saturday mornings? I don't think they did. I think they showed it at weekend nights. Okay, it doesn't matter. It's a kid's show, you know what I mean? And things gotta get moving and stuff like that, and it's a pretty nitpicky detail. Overall, I really liked this episode. I love the style of the animation. The music is really good in this episode as well. I forgot to mention that in my review of the Clone Wars movie, but I love the musical score. I don't know who does it, but it's not just trying to ape John Williams. It's its own thing. So overall, yeah, this episode is pretty awesome. And I was like, wow, this is awesome. This is a lot more than just battles and sci-fi action, which is a problem I had with the Clone Wars film. And it did make me think. Remember in Revenge of the Sith when Yoda kind of feels Order 60, blah blah blah. Sorry, feels Order 66 going on, and he like is crestfallen by it. There's a great scene where some clone troopers sneak up behind him, and he jumps and he cuts off their heads, and like that. I don't know. It's weird. That moment is put in a different context when I think about this episode of the Clone Wars. We see Yoda be friends with these clone troopers, and he's more than friends. He's teaching them things about the Force and about life. And I don't know. That scene just became way more. It's probably going to be way more sad for me now whenever I watch this movie. It puts a whole different context into it, which is cool. If a TV show could do that for a movie that I've seen like years ago and I've seen many times, if it can make it a little better, then great. I mean, we'll see if the rest of the show can do that for the Star Wars films, but if so, awesome. I want to see that happen. So that's my review of episode 1 of Star Wars The Clone Wars, Ambush. It's good. It's great. I like it so far. I have a lot of reviews to do, a lot of episodes to watch. I'm going to keep on doing it. Thank you so much for watching. You guys are awesome. If you like this video, don't forget to like it. Please subscribe. And never forget, I'm your friend. I'm always going to be there for you. May the Force be with you. I'll see you next time.